right. So, moving on to the biggest game in terms of, early season stakes, we had number one Texas travel up to Columbus to take on Ohio State. Ohio State pulls out the win 14-7. And the question becomes, around the country going in, we had Arch Manning. Is Arch Manning the best thing ever? So the question is an Arch Manning not the star that he was hyped up to be? What you think, bro?
I think we saw a young quarterback making his first road start in one of the most hostile environments that you could play in against
Against
an
an elite
elite
defense.
defense, an
I think we
absolutely
saw that
elite
on
defense.
both sides of the football, right? I
Yeah.
think we saw two quarterbacks who had, Arch had started a game, but really stepping into being starters against two of the best defenses in the country. And, one of the most interesting things about the game was Arch did not play well, but Texas ran the ball well in the game. And actually,
Yeah.
Texas actually was better on offense overall than Ohio State in the game. The interesting thing I saw that, Bill Conley does this report of expected win percentages. Ohio State had the lowest expected win percentage in the country yesterday. Like it was crazy. So, Texas did a really good job on defense. I mean, Jeremiah Smith, I think he only had like 4 catches. He had 2 drops, like on back-to-back plays,
Yeah, he had
and
6 catches for 43, so not
yeah,
a lot.
yeah. And like I said, the Texas running game had 166 yards on the ground. Ohio State had under 100 yards on the ground.
Yeah, and in passing game, Julian Saban only threw for 126 yards.
Right.
So
So
it wasn't like Ohio State was out there, setting the world on fire, and Arch Manning was just playing just god awful.
no.
He started to get a little bit of momentum there after halftime, and was making some good plays. Had a couple of good runs, but then there was that third or fourth down where he just kind of sidearmed it and was behind the running back who could have ran for days if he let him on that pass.
I mean, I think what most people are pointing out about Arch Manning was his mechanics were horrible yesterday.
Right.
Throwing off balance, not setting his feet, locking onto receivers at times. I think a lot of those problems that you expect to see in a young quarterback, but let's remember, this is a guy who sat for 2 years. This is a third-year player. And so with all the expectation, everything, was this the first game as the true starter? Yes, it was horrible. But do I think that they can't get Arch Manning dialed back in? No, because of that run game and because of that defense. I think Texas can still be one of the best teams in the country because their defense showed out. We said on this show, our prediction for this game was that it was going to be a lower scoring game, that Ohio State was probably going to win because they were at home.
Yeah.
That's what we both said. And I think that's why they won. They had enough of the crowd. And look,
and you
Ohio
had the Corso
State
thing. You had the Corso thing.
But Texas twice turned the ball over on downs on Ohio State's side of the field. Once, first drive of the game, Texas is moving the ball. They're over the 50. They turn it over on downs. And then the other time they're driving, they're down, they get down to the goal line. It's fourth and goal at the 1, and they can't get in.
Yeah, I think if they just kick field goals on all of those chances, they win the game.
Right. So you gotta take points. I think,
I think it's more of an indictment on Sarkeesian because he's had trouble in the red zone going back to last year, but also, with talking about the mechanics that Arch was showing, I thought Sark was supposed to be this quarterback guru, and we've seen 2 really great, highly rated quarterbacks come through and just kind of be mid so far. I mean, you saw it last year with what's his face? Quinn Ewers, yeah.
I mean, maybe it's a scenario with Arch that as much as he has talent, right, he really needed the development. And we said it last year. Why, If he's so great, why isn't he starting when yours is struggling?
Exactly.
And maybe that's the reason. He has all the physical gifts in the world. He has the mind to be a great quarterback. But people point out, and I've seen it a lot today, that they're showing the highlights of Arch in high school and the talent he played again, the competition he played again was so bad. He played in private school ball, and there are, kids that look unathletic running around trying to cover guys, and he's got all day to throw. And maybe he just still needs that development. And so the talent is there, but the bad mechanics and stuff are stuff that you can fix. He doesn't have problems that can't be fixed. And
Well,
Texas is good enough running the ball and good enough on defense to still be a top tier program this season.
yeah, Texas isn't going away, and I think Arch will get better throughout the year. But just talking about the talent, maybe he is overhyped just because of his last name. Like if he
Yeah.
wasn't a Manning, how
Yeah.
would he be perceived?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So you asked the question, overrated or underrated? I think Arch Manning as a Heisman candidate in his first year starting, I definitely think that is overrated. So,
Yeah, so Arch Manning not being the star that he was hyped to be, I don't think it's an overreaction. So I'm
no,
going
yeah.
underreaction there. So give me the under
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
Arch.
yeah, I would agree with you on that. I just said the opposite end, but yeah. I don't think he's ready to be the star that some people hoped or thought he would be yet. That doesn't mean he's not gonna be a great quarterback, but I don't think you're gonna see him in New York this year.
Yeah, I concur. Damn it, I should have concurred.